It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
Welcome to another episode of A Cup of Coffee with Will and Chris right here at Slumberland Furniture, and it is another headline-filled week, maybe the biggest we've had in a while. Hard to believe. We're going to follow up on the ATF raid. That actually took place last Tuesday while we were shooting just down the road here at Skelton Tactical. We'll talk about that. Of course, a little bit of a follow-up with the casino from Osage Nation in Oklahoma, that proposed casino entertainment complex. I talked with Chairman Mike Lear with the Missouri Gaming Commission.
That was a great interview too, man. That was
very
wonderful.
Informative. We got to cover a lot of the things that people here locally are asking and wondering about. And there's a lot of misconceptions and lack of understanding with a lot of those pros and cons the community feels that could lead to. But there's probably going to be a big stop or slam your brakes on when it comes to that, because we're looking at way further away than most people probably anticipate. For that, another big headline, the outlet malls under contract.
Wow, that's huge.
That is huge.
Wow.
At its peak, had over 100 retailers in there at one point in time, so this could be big for the Lake of the Ozarks. We'll talk about that. Of course, this weekend was opening weekend for rifle season, deer hunting, and boy, a lot of deer were harvested over the weekend. Of course, the Bagnell Dam Strip reconstruction project going to take a little longer. Also, a story I love, you may not. Stolen dog reunited with their
He's
owners.
the dog lover. I don't really care.
I was crying while reading this story. But local dog and Australian Shepherd actually found in Utah. We'll cover that story. And Performance Boat Center, they won the Super Stock World Champion.
How great is that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That took place this weekend in Key West. So big shout out to Myrick Coyle and Rusty Williams with Performance Boat Center, that super stock class. That's that Go Fast diesel fuel systems boat number 21. That thing's incredible, and world champions. It's pretty cool. Mizzou, big football win, terrible on the basketball court. It's time for Martin to go, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Time for him.
Last year, he should have been gone last year, man.
That's right. But before we can go into all that, we do want to give our friends right here at Slumberland at the Lake a moment for this message.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and we have our Thanksgiving sale going on right now. Save up to 25% off of Slumberland low tag price items, and then we still have all the blue tags that can go today. You can pick it up or have it delivered in the next week. Come see us, lots of product available right here at Slumberland Furniture at the Lake, where we're bringing happy home.
All right, so of course we're back now, and this local story was huge and still is huge.
Wow.
And it took place because, we record Tuesday mornings, and our weekly show debuts each Wednesday. So it actually, we were recording last week right as this raid was taking place. The ATF raided local gun shop Skelton Tactical Tuesday, November 9th, 20. ATF members in full tactical gear raided with a warrant and confiscated over 300 guns, took those away. And of course, the shop owned by Jim Skelton, and he claims that there was entrapment on the ATF's part, and he's looking at his legal options. Now, his brother Ike Skelton, who owns Skelton Lock and Key, which is the adjoining business, he sat down with KB on What's Burnin', and had that exclusive sit-down TV interview. That's been seen by over 600,000 people.
Huge. I mean, 600,000, that's unbelievable. But I think this country is on edge. It's sitting on edge trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and stuff like this is pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, and that interview, you can see it in its entirety right now on Lake TV's Facebook page, our YouTube page, as well as our Roku and Amazon Fire, and it's also inside What's Burning with Kevin KB Burns right now. Now, there'll be more to come from this because, of course, Jim Skelton says he is pursuing his legal options if there was entrapment and were his constitutional rights infringed upon. That's yet to be determined. Of course, everyone locally is saying absolutely. And one person, Camden County Sheriff Tony Helms, he was in the dark he says, although the ATF was at the sheriff's office Monday.
The day before.
And did not make mention of this. And what's ironic is Sheriff Helms actually spoke very firmly about some of these issues as far as the Second Amendment and the federal government and the ATF months ago on Lake TV's Community Spotlight. And I was with you, Chris, and he had some pretty bold stances.
Yeah, because earlier in the year we saw all this craziness happening. And so when Sheriff Helms was on the Spotlight show, I specifically asked him about gun rights and could the federal troops or folks come in and take over. And here's what he had to say. How do things on a national level, politics and all that, defund the police and stuff, how does that affect Camden County and you?
That's a good question. I will tell you, first of all, to start that off, we don't get affected like that. I think for the most part, people support their law enforcement. Not just me, but all the departments within the county, within the state of Missouri. It gets a little slippery out in Kansas City and St. Louis, but we are able to enjoy the support of our constituents out there and all the citizens of Camden County. There is some things that boil over, like the Second Amendment thing with the new president. Everybody thinks he's going to take away our rights. I think that it's really hard because that gets passed down to us, the Second Amendment stuff. There's some other issues out there that people probably should be aware of, but that's probably the hottest thing. It doesn't seem to affect us right now, but I have been in law enforcement for over 33 years. I have never, it's not like TV. Everybody watches TV and said, man, when the feds come in, they're taking over. Well, let me tell you something. If one of those feds come in and try to do that in my office, he'd be in my jail. But let's fix that. That's never happened. I have been treated with nothing but respect, kindness, and courtesy, and they help us immensely. I know everybody's afraid of what their bosses is going to tell them to do, but I'm not going to allow that to happen. Not while I'm sheriff.
Right. And people are worried about that.
They are.
With the new administration and Congress the way it is, where it seems like they're going after Second Amendment gun rights.
Seems like it.
Are the people safe from that, or could the federal government actually do that?
I think they have it within their authority. But I don't think it will never happen. No, I don't. For the simple reason there's not enough of them to affect that. They would have to, let's go extreme. They have to declare a national emergency. People don't know this, but you can't bring in the Army or the Navy or anybody into the states. It has to be the National Guard. Those people are comprised of people like me and you. They have feelings. They have emotions. They will follow their command, I'm sure, but they won't get any help from this guy to go get your gun.
So, of course, he wasn't afraid to say he wasn't going to allow that to happen, but it just goes to show kind of powerless when it comes to the federal government, the ATF, along with the IRS and organizations like that. Uncle Chris, it could be cute to say, yeah, as a county, as an area, we're not going to allow that. You're not going to infringe upon our constitutional rights. But let's be reminded, this is a prime example of how powerful the federal government is. Your sheriff can't save you. The locals can't save you. When it comes to this kind of thing, this country is in a wild place. And there's nothing the Skeltons can really do at this point in time except for wait and, of course, see what their legal options are. But they own a gun store, and they get held. I wouldn't say they got held at gunpoint, but there were 20 ATF members in full tactical gear that not only came into their business, how frightening.
Is no power to stop it.
And not only come in and search your business, but confiscate all of your inventory, and you're there powerless. And like I said, your sheriff can't save you, and so we love the stance that Sheriff Helms is taking, but this is an instance that shows you really don't have the power when it comes to this. Just like state does not trump federal. Anytime the federal government wants to come in and overrule state, they have that power.
It seems to be the case. I think legally that's not the way it's supposed to be. I think the states are actually supposed to have the power, but the way it's evolved over years, I think the federals, they have the power. Obviously they came in and did whatever they wanted to do with 20 guys, right? They didn't have to come in with an army. They didn't have a couple hundred, couple thousand. They had 20. And they came in, basically did whatever they wanted to do. That's pretty scary.
Right. So that was a huge story, and like you said, very scary. We've seen a lot of comments locally. I mean, everyone's kind of following this story closely. It'll be interesting to see. We'll keep you guys posted as this story progresses. Just crazy day and age we're living in. Okay, another huge story. Proposed casino potentially coming to Lake of the Ozarks, the Osage Nation out of Oklahoma. They proposed for an entertainment complex with shopping and lodging and this casino. And I say for all you locals out there, you may want to put on the brakes a little bit, because not only do the Osage Nation and their people have a ton to get to accomplish, they got a big uphill battle. We spoke with Mike Lira on my podcast this last week, and he is the chairman of the Missouri Gaming Commission. And as far as timeline and how long we can expect this to take, he did have this to say.
Where does that stand? We don't know. There is no approval or denial at this point from the Gaming Commission. In other circumstances, other states where this has been approved, the gaming commissions or the gaming authorities have been involved by agreement, by a compact. So if there is an application made, it's assuming that there will be a compact between the state, the local authorities, and the federal government. So there are a number of pieces of that puzzle that have to come together before this is even likely. And no application has been made that we're aware of. And I don't think the Gaming Commission has any role in this until there's probably likely an approval pending or imminent approval of such an application, because we have no authority over either the process, but likely to include technical advice or procedural moves of how to integrate an agreement between us is likely, but nothing of that sort has been done or requested yet.
Very good. Okay, so when you talk about all these hoops and all the things that, no exemption filed for, no request, we're looking at a pretty lengthy time, even if this were to come to fruition. Can you put a ballpark figure on when this could come to fruition, or how many months, years, decades we may be looking at until they could be breaking ground on this development?
Yeah, so we have done a little back and forth, kind of some brainstorming from within the commission and outside. And at this stage, where we understand it to be, without any more information, I just can't imagine something like this moving any further along than it is within the next 3 years. What's more likely, these applications, we have heard some have taken 10 years to be approved.
Wow.
So somewhere between there, I think if everybody's on board with this and it moves fairly smoothly, I would say 3 to 5 years before you see this, any type of groundbreaking or even an opening of a casino would be really difficult in the next 3 to 5 years.
So as you saw there, it's going to be a while if this does come to fruition. Things you'll find out if you want to watch that entire 22-minute interview with Mike. You can check that out on Lake TV's Facebook page, our YouTube page, as well as our Roku pages. And you can check out a recent featured story at our friends over there at lakeexpo.com. But a few things he said. First, they've got to put in for an exemption because there is not reservation land, and that has not been done. After that, they would have to put the land into a trust where it would have to be for a year, from my understanding. That's yet to be done. And then lastly, they'd have to develop and come to some kind of compact with Governor Parson in the state of Missouri. And that exemption process, there's been 6 denials before, and so that's yet to be done, of course. So a lot of things still to accomplish. And another thing that stands out to me, $60 million does not seem like they're going to be able to build anything of value. I mean, you're talking about shopping, lodging, casino. $60 million, you couldn't even really build a condo complex on the water at the lake or around the lake. So $60 million seems like a little amount, but if you want to see that entire 22-minute interview, Mike Lear was awesome, very informative. Like I said, you can check that out all over
that
on Lake
really
TV.
Was a great interview. And if you're looking for more information on this casino thing, go watch that interview because he was fantastic in offering answers to just about everything.
And not really a better or more credible source to talk about
Yeah.
this than the chairman of the Missouri Gaming Commission, and he was a well of knowledge, and we were sure glad to have him on. Okay, huge story.
Yeah, another one.
And it can't really be stressed enough how big this is, because we've heard about the outlet mall and rumors about, hey, you know, it's going to be bought and turned into a Bass Pro Shop, or it's going to go under, and you've seen stores continually leaving. You've even seen the pictures of the dilapidated part of the mall in Missouri history, talking about it used to be a thriving mall, and now it's, you know, dying. Well, the historic outlet mall is officially under contract, and this could be huge for the lake.
Yeah, Chris Foster with Horizon Development has partnered with national development firm Legacy Development. They're based in Kansas City, and what they're saying is they're gonna transform this iconic place at the Lake of the Ozarks. And I know there's a lot of folks like my wife who, they loved coming here in past years, mainly because of that outlet mall. And then it just kind of started going away. And, anyway, this Foster family, one of the oldest families at the Lake of the Ozarks, we're told, been here in this area since the 1820s. Dan Foster, well-known local condo developer, been involved in building more than 1,000 condos at the Lake of the Ozarks, apparently. I wasn't aware of the Foster family. I mean, this is some quiet, big time money, man.
Yeah.
Foster says the process to acquire the outlet mall has been underway for quite a while. So they've been working on this quietly. He emphasized the current retail operations at the mall will not be shut down, but the development team plans to build on and expand the experience in a new direction and in new ways, more high-tech ways. The mall being sold by Simon Property Group. They've got a lot of malls around. So this is really interesting. He said the changes will likely begin in early 2022. So just a couple months away.
Right.
How huge is that?
Big time.
Wow.
I'm curious, Simon, they're the largest shopping mall owner in America, in the United States. Why didn't they want to put money into this complex, into this growing market? But we're so glad this family, Chris Foster and Horizon Development, and, they're working with Legacy Development, and they've had big developments, one of those being Legends Outlets in Kansas City, which is where Sporting KC plays, and they've got Dave & Buster's, they've got crazy restaurants. I mean, it is one of the coolest areas. I've been there many times, and it's a state-of-the-art development. And if that's the vision they're bringing down here to the outlet mall, that really excites me, because growing up, that's where I would shop.
Yeah.
They had everything, of course, the Nike outlet. They had a lot more toy stores and just different things there, restaurants and the ice cream shop, Annie Ann's Pretzels. I mean, there were so many things that took place. I loved going to the mall. My grandparents, when we lived in Branson and Springfield, we would come to the lake and we would go there, and we'd go to the Bagnell Dam Strip and play 10-cent skee ball and bumper boats and bumper cars and do the maze. So this is kind of a little trip down memory lane for me, because it is kind of been sad to see the outlet mall in the direction it's went, because at one point in time, over 100 retailers were there, and like you said, you guys came to Lake, it was popping.
Yeah, it was like the main place to go for people like my wife. She loved that. You know what? I'm really glad to see it staying local too with the Foster family. That is fantastic.
Awesome.
What I would like to see is Bass Pro find a place here at the Lake of the Ozarks, and maybe that wasn't the right place for Bass Pro. Wouldn't it be great if they found a place on the water or something, I mean, like the old Niagara Falls or, something like that, where they got water access and they can do all their fishing. Oh, that would be awesome. So,
fishing, hunting, boating. And have you been to the Bass Pro Shop in Springfield?
Yeah.
And the World of Wildlife and the new aquarium? I mean,
greatness.
Unbelievable.
Greatness. Would love to have something like that here.
And speaking of hunting, this last weekend was opening weekend for rifle season. Of course, deer hunters all over the state went wild. There was 89,861 deer harvested.
Wow.
This according to the Missouri Department of Conservation. As you see here, this picture is Jackson Boyer, age 7, of Hillsboro, and that's his first deer harvest, which he got in Adair County. In 2020, hunters harvested a total of, for the whole year, or for the whole hunting season, 297,214 deer. And for opening weekend last year, there were 80,744, which was about 27% of all deer harvested on that opening weekend. Now, according to the Missouri Department of Conservation, they did anticipate this season's harvest would be quite a bit higher than average due to an increasing deer numbers across the state, coupled with increased firearm antlerless permit availability in a number of counties and an extension. And they were correct, Chris, because like I said, opening weekend, 89,861 deer harvested. That's an increase of 11.2%, or a little over 9,000 more than last year. So congrats to all you hunters out there that got your buck and you were able to harvest a deer. You know, Uncle Chris and I would put in a request. If you make deer jerky or deer sticks, drop those off at the Lake TV Studios in Greenview, because they'll be well loved.
We love those.
We'll give you a shout out on the show. We'll put you on Facebook, whatever. But if you bring us some deer jerky or meat sticks, we'll give them some love, right?
That's what we need. You know,
Hey, I'm going
We love
protein
that.
heavy.
That's good.
I'm going to go to that new keto diet or
There you go.
something, you know.
Right, yeah.
So I need the protein. So congrats, as I said to all of you.
I think I've seen most of those deer by the side of the road. I mean, they're all over the place this year.
No doubt, and they're very active right now, so be careful out there driving. So, hey, we told you a while back, of course, the story broke in September. The Bagnell Dam was going to have a reconstruction project and would be closed through early December. Well, it looks like they got in there and found out it was in worse shape than they originally anticipated, and it's going to be longer before the Bagnell Dam opens back up.
Yeah, it probably, I mean, they were supposed to be done sometime in December. They pushed that back. It's going to be after the first of the year now. Don't have really a time frame, so it could be January, February, even maybe into the spring. But it's good that they found the problem now before the things started falling off and water started going through. So it's good. They're getting it fixed. That's what we want to do. And they're also going to put a new weight limit on there too.
Right.
So that's all good for the safety of the dam.
Yeah, apparently, according to MoDOT resident engineer Chris Graham, crews discovered that the bridge deck is in worse condition and work will take more time than originally scheduled, meaning a longer-term closure of the bridge. In addition, as you said, bridge inspectors have determined that once the bridge is reopened, a load weight limit will be put into place, which they say is going to be 18 tons or 36,000 pounds. Now, the project to rehabilitate the dam began, as we said, in September, and the bridge was built in 1929, and this rehabilitation project includes repairs to the bridge deck, expansion joint, sidewalks, and barrier walls. As we said, was supposed to open up in early to mid-December. Now it's going to be at least early to mid-January, if not later, so make sure you make note of that. All right, now a story you didn't really... Oh, go ahead.
Just a lot of changes since they built that dam. You know, I mean, the vehicles are so much bigger and heavier and stuff like that. That dam road was not built for today's vehicles and stuff like that. So this is all good.
So I'm not going to go too far into this story, because if I read the whole thing, I'd be sobbing everywhere. But man, a local dog named Axel is back home after being found 1,200 miles away from home. Stephanie Jenkins of Camden let her 2 dogs out on Sunday, October 30th, and when she called them back, only 1 returned. Long story short, someone kidnapped their dog, took it to a groomer, saw the dog on Facebook, recognized the dog, contacted him. Well, the people that stole this dog, Axel, didn't get along with their other dog, so they gave it to a lady who ended up being in Utah. Well, they were able to get reconnected. They drove to Utah, got their dog. They've got him back. Just an amazing story, and it was so special to me because we have an Australian Shepherd, and they're amazing dogs and very expensive, very popular, and they're very, very loving and very intelligent. And this family got this dog during a very rough time when a family member was sick, and it brought them comfort. And so Stephanie and her husband and their kids, they got reunited, and it was just an emotional thing. The lady that reunited them with the dog wouldn't take any money, would not take anything, took incredible care of Axel. It's just a heartwarming story, because typically when you lose a dog, a lot of times it can end up being a lot more tragic than that.
They had to make a Hallmark movie out of that, you know.
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty cool.
you're a sappy guy. You love Hallmark. You've written award-winning books that you would think could be made into a Hallmark movie, but you don't love dogs as much as a lot of us, so you didn't love that story.
We're not animal lovers, you know, and we're out of place at the lake because, I mean, everybody at the lake is an animal lover. So.
Yeah, but you and Michelle are a little out there, you know?
we are weird, yeah.
All the way from Dallas, baby. All right, so again, I just want to congratulate the world champion Performance Boat Center, their fast diesel fuel system super stock boat. They captured the world championship in Key West this last weekend. They took first place on 2 of the 3 days and second on Saturday, and they were in first place going in to Sunday, and they were able to lock it up. Take first place, world champions.
That is
congrats
so
to
great.
Myrick Coyle,
Yep.
Rusty Williams, the driver and throttleman, and of course, big congrats to Mark Waddington and Brett Manier and their entire team at Performance Boat Center. That super stock class is becoming one of the most competitive and exciting classes in all of offshore racing, and so that's a big win for them. Of course, they don't have the Freaky Fast anymore, so now they've got this other boat and they're back in the winner's circle, if you will. So congrats to our local team, Performance Boat Centers. How cool is that?
Love those guys. Had them on the Spotlight show, just greatness. Have so much to do with the shootout and everything. So happy for them. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's killer. All right, so we told you Missouri, big win Saturday football-wise over South
You
Carolina.
were there.
I was there.
I kept seeing you on TV.
Yeah, they found a way to put me on camera. It might have been because I had a couple too many to drink, and I was the loudest person there. But basketball, they got off to a good start, and then they had the most embarrassing loss, arguably in the history of the program. I think it's time for Coach Martin to go. They lose to University of Missouri, Kansas City, 80-66, and that was UMKC's first win of the year. They were 0-2, lost to 2 Big Ten teams coming into that one, and it was at Mizzou Arena. So embarrassing. I was really excited about this year, and now I'm already done. I'm done with Mizzou basketball.
Yeah,
So
need to make a coaching change.
all right, so the Chiefs, we can be excited about this.
Yeah.
3 in a row, and it wasn't just a win. We got glimpses of the old Kansas City Chiefs offense, and the defense looked really good too. 41-14. They routed the Vegas Raiders, and Mahomes was incredible, Chris. 35 of 50, 406 passing, 5 scores, no turnovers. Kelsey, 8 grabs, $119. Tyreek Hill, who's had some drop problems, 7 catches, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. Darrell Williams, he wasn't great on the ground, 11 carries, 43 yards, but out of the backfield, 9 catches, 101 yards, and a score. And the most hated Chief of the year, Daniel Sorensen, had a big pick. And big thing for Mahomes, with his 3rd game of his career, 400 yards passing with 5+ touchdowns and no turnovers. He is tied for the most all-time with 3 guys you may have heard of, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Dan Marino. And yeah, he's just 26 years old. 2nd straight week, the offense didn't turn the ball over. The Chiefs are rolling, setting up a big game Sunday at Arrowhead against the 7-2 Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
That'll be a good one, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be great.
All right, so here's a big one. Time for our picks, Chris. Finally, first time in like 4 or 5 weeks, you didn't at least have a share of first place on there. Andrew and I both go 8-5-1. We get 9 points. You go 7-6-1, get 7 points. Ricky, I don't know what he's still doing here. 6-7-1 with 6 points. Overall, Andrew's got a 2-point lead at 109. You've got 107. I bridged that gap just a little bit. I'm up to 103, just 4 points behind you, still 6 points back behind Andrew, and Ricky's 20 points behind me. So we got to do our picks before we run out of time this week. You got the Patriots, you got the Falcons.
I've got the Patriots.
Yeah, I do too, man. Patriots looking good.
Yeah.
Ravens or the Bears?
I've got the Ravens, but they haven't been playing well lately.
Yeah, I also got the Ravens. It'll be interesting to see that one. Lions and the Browns.
I took the Browns.
But who knows? Lions, they didn't lose for the first time this year, but they also didn't win.
Yeah.
That was wild. Vikings or the Packers?
I got the Packers.
I got the Vikings.
Yeah.
You already knew that.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins, he's going to take me all the way to first place in this pick'em league. Texans or the Titans?
I got the Titans. That's my money pick.
Oh, nice. I've got the Titans as well. That's not my money pick. How about the Colts or the Bills?
Bills.
I got the Bills as well. How about the Dolphins or the Jets?
I've got the Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins, and that's my money pick.
Ooh, okay.
I knew no one else would take the Dolphins as their money pick,
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that your Titans get knocked off or something. All right, Eagles over the Saints.
Eagles.
Very good. I've got the 49ers over the Jags.
Niners.
I got the Washington football team over Carolina.
I got Carolina.
Very good. Two that are different. I got the Bengals over the Raiders.
I got the Bengals.
I got the Seahawks over the Cardinals.
I got the Cardinals.
Very good. I got the Chiefs over the Cowboys.
I got the Chiefs, although that's going to be interesting.
You took the Chiefs against your Cowboys, huh? Steelers or the Chargers?
Chargers.
All right, very good. I got the Chargers as well, and then Giants or the Bucks.
I got the Bucks.
I got the Bucks as well. So we got 3 picks that are different. We got some other things we'll get into next week, but that's going to be a wrap. Big shout out to Jill Ray and the entire crew here at Slumberland Furniture. This good-looking guy is Uncle Chris. I'm Wild Will, and we will see you guys next week.